It's 2 years of LEIGHSTER, and what am I going to celebrate with? Well, I'm going to talk about TV. Let's get started. LEIGHSTER here, and welcome back to the channel. 2 years since I began this channel, and I thought I would go back to one of my first videos where you got to know me a bit more. This time, it's TV themed. So, inspired by @Ollie-1411's tweet on Twitter, which is basically into taste on TV shows that you watch or you want to watch. And I think people have been doing this. I haven't really seen many people do it, but I thought I'd do it as a video format. And I want to thank Ollie for tweeting about this and alerting to my attention, and this is what is going to happen. So, 18 questions, 18 answers. You're going to get to know me a bit more about my taste in TV. My favourite TV show, I would probably say, is between, well, there are two choices for me. Doctor Who, because I still love the show, and I know I've had a bit of a tough time with stuff, but yeah, I think it's coming back to me with certain eras, and the eras so that's good. But The Mandalorian is kind of present for me right now because I enjoyed the last series they did. It's one of my favourites of all time, and there's just so much character work in it. So yeah, it's between those two. My favourite protagonist, well, I have a few, so I'll just say them now. All actors of Doctor Who, including the ones in the Timeless Children, they deserve a mention, so I'll give them a mention. Lateef Crowder, Brendan Wayne, and of course the amazing Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin. I'm glad that Lateef and Brendan are finally getting the credits they deserve. This is a good role, and I'm glad that I got into them last year because Din is one of my favourite shows of all time, and I love him. Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett protagonist. Yes, I know I went Muffin, but I still loved him, and he was one of the best parts of the series, and I really loved him. Two more. Amy Poehler's Leslie, because Leslie's kind of one of those characters that really stands out to me, and I think I'll add Craig Charles as Davis. Love him, love the character, and yeah, I always love the show, and he is one of the hearts of Roger, so I love him. My favourite episode, I can't decide because there's so many. I would say I'm going to go for the one that's hitting with me at the moment because I think that might actually be my favourite. My favourite at the moment is got to be Guns for Hire from the Mandalorian. I've watched that a lot. Bo and Din's chemistry, amazing. The dark side plot fixed, kind of. You get Lizzo, you get Jack Black, you get Christopher Lloyd, and also some amazing cameos like the Argonauts, and also the Battle Droids, and yeah, it's just probably my favourite episode at this moment. Okay, so this time a show that everybody loves but I hate. It's gotta be anything to do with a soap. I've never loved soaps. There's something that really annoys me. It's just certain elements, maybe repetitiveness. I mean, I have watched bits of them and there are some great, but as a package, I understand people see it, but for me, it's just not. I've never seen it. I mean, I know some of my favorite actors have been in soaps, but it's too dark and there's too much bad stuff and arguments. It's just not for me. A show that everybody hates but I love is Temuera Morrison and Ming Na Wen's The Book of Boba Fett. Okay, this show is overhated. I just don't get why people have an issue. I mean, for me, I personally love it for me being more fond of Boba Fett. Tem and Ming Na did a great job. Yes, I would have seen more Boba, but I just enjoy it for what it is. I think, looking back, it just stands out for being different. I loved a lot of the characters. I loved it. I loved doing Grogu being reunited. I loved the Mandalorian crossover. And I just think, for me, I'd rather enjoy something than complain about it. But I think, for me, this show deserves more credit. Favourite series is gotta be the recent Mandalorian series. I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably one of the series that I just love from beginning to end, and it's rare that it happens. And I guess it's just because I was so excited. I know me and episode 3 have a bit of a hard time sometimes, but I still like the episode. But I still love it for what it is. It's something I like rewatching, and I'm just hoping that Mono keeps doing what it's doing, because that is probably the series that I feel like has got everything, and it might be impossible to beat. But yeah, I think it's put a lot of pressure on the show, because I just think it's just one of the best pieces of TV of all time. My favourite antagonist has got to be Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon. It's definitely a huge achievement for someone from Star Wars to be my favourite actor, and Giancarlo's earned it after some strong performances, especially in the recent series of Mandalorian. Giancarlo brought a lot to the role, and he is such a legend, and he's a great actor to play Vincent. He made his character a lot more real, and I'm happy that he got a chance to shine. My favourite droid hunters are Nick Offerman's Ron Swanson, Monday Girls, Yasmin Khan, Barry Walsh's Graham Ryan, Chosen Cole's Ryan Sinclair, Joe Coleman's Clara Oswald, Ming Na Wen's Phoenix Shan, and of course, someone who you all know me giving a lot of love recently, Din Grogu. These guys are kind of similar but different, and most of them are so strong. In fact, they're all so strong that I just love them, and they still remain in my heart, even though some might have not been on the shows for years or now to left. They just definitely made a good impact to be my favourite, and one of my favourites. A show that I want to watch but I haven't yet is, of course, Heartstopper. But here's a twist. I watched the first 4 episodes, and if I'm going to be honest, I actually think they're really great. I think in terms of as representation, this is a show I feel I recommend people watch, because Alice Osman has done a good job with the books. I'm currently trying to read Heartstopper 1 myself, but I think what's holding me back is I'm not like having the interest enough, even though I do love representation done well. I feel like it will probably take time for me to get back into it, because I think there's a lot of shows I'm hyped for, or a lot of shows I've just watched, and I know Heartstopper 2 will be coming up later on in the year, about August, I believe. So around the same time as Ahsoka. So hopefully, I'm hoping to get back to it before Heartstopper 2. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I do think it's a show that I do want to watch, and I want to get back into watching. My favourite piece of cinematography, I think, is going to be the Ghost moment. Okay, I think this is one of my favourite styles of Doctor Who. I think there's a lot of good cinematography moments in there, especially when the TARDIS is revealed. I do think this is an underrated story, and I just have a connection with it. Maybe it's just because it's great leads, great characters. I think that's the thing. When you have a limited cast but also great characters, I think that's what can help make the episode work. And thankfully, it did. I still loved it when I first watched it. I still love it now. I think people obviously might find it way too less, not having more toxic, which I can understand that. But at the end of the day, I'm glad they went for something different, and it paid off for me. My favourite intro has got to be, my favourite intro at the moment is The Mandalorian, because it's one of the best pieces of music, and I like the way they've edited a lot more. I think it just fits the show and the character, because Din is that bounty hunter turned Mandalorian carer. I also want to give a huge shout out to, of course, Doctor Who. Still one of my favourite theme tunes. I mean, for me, there's some that don't work for me, but most of them are amazing. I think that's the thing. When you look at Doctor Who that's been on for a long time, there will be some themes that might not work for you, but also some people might have love all themes, and that is a good thing. And I think with that, the variety of the themes sent by each of the composers just shows that this show is going to be bringing a lot of good Doctor Who themes throughout the years. And I'm excited to see what Murray Gold does this time for the season. I wouldn't mind if it is the Series 4 feature, because I actually love that one. It's one of my favourites, but I'd also love something new. So I'm just excited to see what Doctor can do next. But The Mandalorian is my favourite. What would I like to watch again? I feel like for me, it would be Red Dwarf, because I personally love it. I just enjoy it so much. I do feel like now I don't think stuff would be appealing, because it is a bit old and not in the best taste for the public, which I personally will agree with people on that. But for me, it's got 4 great characters. They're very entertaining. I do feel for them, and I think that's the thing. There's at least something that appeals in every series with this one, and I think it'll be interesting to watch again. I think there are shows that I probably wouldn't watch again. I don't know what they will be, but it would only happen if there was negative representation or things I didn't like happen. That's probably what would make me not want to watch again. My favourite TV pilot has to be the end from Red Dwarf. I think it's amazing, and it sets up Lister and Rimmer's predicaments as they go through hating each other throughout the series, which is quite amazing. And plus there's a lot of, for me, a British cast who are amazing, and some characters that do annoy you throughout the series. My memorable moment has to be Cat and his entrance when he goes, "Eee, how I'm looking! Dangerous! Ow! Oh, that's my shadow! I'm looking nice!" It's still an amazing opener for me. The Bad Batch is a show that I think deserves a lot more attention, and there is something special and unique for me that I found with the Leighs. There is a relatable aspect which is really amazing about, and of course, I'm sad because one of my favourite characters has left us, or I don't know. But this show has a huge meaning for me in terms of one of the characters who I personally react the same, and what it makes it so unique is the fact is I do feel him, and that's what made that moment special. For me, I don't think it's given enough attention. It deserves more love. I think there's a lot more to give. I'm sad it's got one more series, but I think maybe one more series should be enough to fix and help solidify how good it is. And I just think it's one of those unique shows. The Power of the Doctor from Doctor Who and The Man's Law from The Mandalorian are 2 of my favourite stories of all time. I did a video on this channel comparing the good things that stood out for both episodes, and I'll put the link in the description down below for you guys to check out. The Power of the Doctor for me has something special. I said goodbye to Joe and Gail, of course, and both girls managed to peak at the right time and go from, especially with Manet, because I know Yaz deserves a lot more love, and I'm glad that she got a chance to shine. On the same train of thought, Kathy Sackhoff, playing Bo-Katan Kryze in The Man's Law, started her campaign on becoming one of my favourite characters of all time. That episode was when she made a statement. I'm really glad, because I like the fact that she's one of those surprises of the year, and Pedro Pascal and Grogu were amazing as well. It was just an amazing story. It was just nice to see Mandalore, and plus Amy Styles as Pino Mono, and of course the Jawas. What more iconic stuff can we get? But both of those, for me, best stories of all time. My favourite plot twist has to be Bo-Katan Kryze in the first series of The Mandalorian. Now, at the beginning, in the Apostate, it's kind of seen that she has a bit of a dislike towards Din Djarin. And then in The Mandalorian, at first, she's angry. But then, what happens? She gets very emotional and goes to his rescue. Now, we as a viewer, obviously, in the trailers, we have to remember she was treated as a villain, and she didn't end up being a villain. She ended up being one of the heroes of the era, and she just Carrie Sackhoff, for me, did a brilliant job with what she was given. She she was hyped for the second episode, and she did not disappoint. She did one of her best ones, but I think she got better and better throughout. And the chemistry between her, Din and Grogu worked, and of course those heroic moments at the end, and her road to be better actually came across well. I actually felt emotional for her. I understood what had set her back, and at the end of the day, it just paid off for me, and I'm glad that we got to see Bo-Katan return as ruler of Mandalore. And of course, the fact that she didn't need the Darksaber. All she needed, as she said, as Bo said, Mandalorians are stronger together. And that's what makes it very special. My favourite ending has to be from the Book of Boba Fett, In the Name of Honor. Grogu irritates his dad into speeding away in their new starfighter. Din isn't having it when Grogu was knocking with his little precious book gun, and he's going, no, no. And he gives in, and Grogu's reaction is such a beautiful moment to end the series with, and it's just so adorable and heartwarming, and of course makes the whole thing they've gone through worthwhile. And I think that whole reunion had to happen because they needed each other, and I'm glad that Din and Grogu are back as a duo. Clan Mudhorn, reborn, and should stay like that. I'm going to finish with some quick fires. Okay, so my favourite guest stars have got to be Clone99, Roma Adele, and of course, who else can I think of? Malcolm Taylor. Some of my favourite characters who have put on a show and improved are Paz Vizsla, Axe Rose, Bo-Katan Kryze, and upcoming stars like Rio Chelchi, and of course characters who I think are going to be fighting for some very important spots and improvements and standouts are 14 and 15, Ruby Sunday, Rose Temple Noble, Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Ho-Yang, Hera Cinder, and there will be a few more who are fighting for those spots as well. But that's all I can say at the moment. I would like to thank Ollie for inspiring this video, and I hope you enjoyed learning about TV and my tastes. Please, if you love my video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate support. And also, what do you love about the channel and what would you like to see? You can comment in the comment section down below, and on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at LEIGHSTER. And I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!